All right, thanks for joining, even though we have a little bit of a late start. First up is what's in progress. I'm currently, from my side, looking to finish up group deployments, group deploy keys issue, and another issue that I need to look up. But am I missing the boat somewhere else? Do you need some direct involvement of me on another issue you're currently waiting, or am I blocking you? Then I would love to know. Doesn't have to be. If not, I'm going to skip on to the next.
Actually, I just had a discussion come up on an MR that you might want to take a look at. Let me find the link. So many links today. But basically, there's the kind of badge on the feature flags or on the feature flags index page, and we were wondering if we should just go ahead and move that over to the new GL badge, or if there's anything else that you might want to change there.
Ideally, yes, but I'll take a look at it. If you can post the link, it's I'll have a talk about that a little bit later in the meeting if we have enough time. But with the new OKRs for product and UX, but mostly product, I think it details us specifically in this way. We should be focusing, or like all newly released features should use GitLab pajamas design system components going forward. So I think we should ideally standardize as much as we can on that. All right, thanks for that. Anything else? If not, I'm gonna go on to the next. I'm gonna skip the retrospective, but if you have important information, I would say put it in there. I know we have some timing discussions. I know that this doesn't always is a nice time for Nicole, for example, but she already put in here some questions or some comments. But first off, I'm giving over to Chase. You had a comment.
Yeah, thanks. So this is from last time or something. I think we didn't quite get to this, but I'm trying to remember the context around my question here. I think mostly like we're getting better at our overall like asynchronous planning process, right? And making sure that we've got, things in the right, hopefully allocated a certain capacity for the right milestone, and things are kind of in place and in motion. But some of them seem like there's like a UX label on them, but may not have like one of your bespoke Dimitri UX labels on it. And
yeah.
I'm just trying to want to make sure that like things are getting to raising to your visibility level, and how we should best do that, if it's through assigning the issue to you or using some other, what kind of trigger are you looking for to make sure that you're seeing things like this early enough? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes fully sense. It is true that like I'm sometimes still assigned to an issue, but like it doesn't really mean too much for me. It is more, I've been using it more as like some kind of like communication device, like, hey, I'm actually DRI for this issue, or I'm assigned, like I'm doing something with it, but it is losing its meaning a bit with me using my personal labels, and like those I'm actually using. So if you don't see my personal labels on such an issue, there's a big chance I'm not seeing the issue, which is a bad thing. I'm trying to, like what I'm doing with Orid every week, we have 2 one-on-ones. I'm trying to stay, discuss with her. If she changes things in the planning issues, then I'm updating myself based on that, basically. Of course, we might, skip out on a few or miss a few, and that way lose out a few. On the other hand, like assigning those labels, I'm thinking of creating a new label in that case that can just be assigned, please, like up for attention or something like that. Because I'm trying to safeguard my priority labels preferably. I've noticed in the past that, you know, like being mentioned all over the place doesn't mean that all mentions are equally as important, or that some things are, you know, that I should spend my time on, like which issues am I actually working on, and just being assigned to all the issues. If we go with the like standardized practice of being assigned to an issue, then hey, suddenly you're assigned to 30 issues. Like, no, like I can only work on a few issues. So how does it sound? Like, let's I'll create like a DME double colon needs attention label, and you can assign it anywhere you want. I can also adjust to any workflow you would like me to say to take care of, and just pay more attention there. Whatever you would like it to be.
I'm fine if you're already working from a set of labels to help organize all of the UX tasks. Then I'm happy to do that. I just want to make sure that we're doing the right things, like from my side, that I'm behaving in the way that we need to do to make sure that things go smoothly. So yeah, I'm happy to do whatever. Labels sounds great. Just send me an update, or send the group an update in Slack or something when you've got it fixed.
Yes, I'll create the label and set up a message in the progressive delivery Slack group.
Okay, thank you. That's all I got, I think.
Yeah, and if you like, anyone can should be able to assign that label. Just put it on there, and I will check it regularly. I do actually the same thing with like merge request in a way. Like I've set up a dedicated filter of my to-dos for a merge request, and I check that basically almost every day. Like, hey, all right, I'll tend to merge requests somewhere in the day, and then I don't look at them anymore, because they will keep piling up like an email, right? Like an email inbox, and I will just like, all right, the rest is for tomorrow, and I'll check them again. Hopefully, it doesn't always work out that way, but they should be kind of the same thing. All right, moving on to the next point. Helping out with department OKRs. I've been discussing this with Orit and Nadia, who is product design manager, of course. And we were discussing the OKRs that come down from departments. As said before, our own progressive delivery OKRs are in progress, so feel free to check those out. I've been highlighting them. Any feedback is welcome. There's a proposal in the issue. The merge request basically highlights how to make that more visible and more standardized. So we have those things in our handbook pages, etc. It's more of a nice thing. The issue is actually around defining the OKRs. But apart from those, we have our own department OKRs, right? Like, I think from an engineering perspective, I don't know if they're already known, but for Q2, you have your OKRs, and for Q3, there should be also OKRs, which we're going to be, we're going to see how well we're doing against. So for the UX and product OKRs, they're kind of aligned. I hope that engineering is kind of aligned with that as well. And basically, it is all geared around the Pajamas design system. So let me briefly share my screen. We have a little bit of time left, so that should be good. So here are the product OKRs. Here are the UX OKRs. And here we can see, like, all right, we want to improve GitLab's performance, quality, and velocity by making GitLab developments pajamas first. All right, pretty good. There's especially this one is pretty nice to know about, like 100% of new features in GitLab added in Q3 should use pajamas components. So if you see proposal from me not standardizing on components, please bring it up to discussion. I'll try to do the same. I think this is just like something we should pay attention towards, and then we'll flow into the right direction anyway. I mean, ideally, we should be using that anyway, because it should improve and make development easier. So I think it should already flow in the right direction, but just to keep track of it. And then the other ones are, this one is a little bit unfamiliar. This is to be discussed on a later point because it isn't clear exactly what it is geared at or whom it is geared at. But the first one is actually pretty important. Prioritize engineering work to complete integration of 8 pajamas components across the product. So a few quarters ago or a few months ago, we've completed the build, create, and style phases of certain pajamas components. For example, the button component I was personally involved in. And that doesn't include the integration phase of that. So especially with the button component, that was like a huge, nasty task that we weren't sure how to complete. And basically what is happening is like all existing buttons have been converted as much as we can to a GitLab deprecated button component. You've probably seen it across the code base. And what we need to do is there's now been created, I know, like 250 MRs that we need to change them individually, test them, see if we break nothing, then merge that code. I've already taken on a few myself, and it's the same for pagination, buttons, alert, tooltips, blah, 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 and icons. So I was wondering and discussing with Orit earlier today, how can we put our best foot forward? I mean, maybe that is a Dutch saying, but maybe we can help out. That is the gist of it. I was wondering how you were thinking about that from an engineering perspective. Is this known by engineering in any way? Were already some plans? I would love some feedback in that sense.
I think I've seen like an epic somewhere that has the list of button or GL component type upgrades. Like, but I think that's it. I think that's all I really know about from that work. And I think this is the first time I've seen OKRs from a UX perspective, which I think is really good. Engineering also has, our own set of OKRs as well, which I have not built out for Q3 yet. I'm still waiting on Dan's OKRs before I can do mine. But yeah, that particular monster epic, yeah. Yep.
It even has a show more picture link inside of the child issues list inside of the epic. I mean, that's something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what I've been wondering about, or at least discussing with Ord, is saying, all right, perhaps we can take care of a few of them. Like this epic is pushed from UX and product perspective. It is kind of like the OKRs are interlocked, as you will. And there's no commitment. There's no commitment per se, per stage group, per person that they should definitely contribute. But they lay it open as an opportunity for anyone to contribute whatever they want. It is also, of course, geared at like we should complete it as much as we can, not 100%, but at least like 60, 70% or something like that. And the idea I had with Ora is like, hey, perhaps we can take care at specific progressive delivery ones. And if so, how can we bring that inside of the planning of engineering? Because what I'm thinking of the weights of these kind of issues is like if we're going to assign them a single weight, and I'm unsure how much of an effort that is in like engineering in the engineering world, but I think some of these issues should be super fast for front-enders, way more ingrained in the code than I am. So I think maybe a weight of 1 might be too much potentially. I'm just wondering here, just speaking my mind.
Yeah, I've reviewed a few of these button MRs now, and they all seem to be pretty straightforward. So if there's like, I think if there's like sections of our app that are still using the GL deprecated buttons, and you and Ori want to schedule that. They still obviously take some time, but they are pretty, they should be pretty easy to pick up and change.
Where would you recommend of, like, say that I groom these lists and issues and make a recommendation of like, all right, these are issues that I like, if we have some leftover availability, then these are the issues we can dedicate ourselves to potentially. And then bring them up like a new weight or planning issues. Like, how would you like that to happen?
I think the planning issue is the best spot for them. That kind of seems to be our central source for all the things that we want to do for a milestone. I think at the very least we should try to take ownership of the ones that are under the progressive delivery section, right? Like the anything involving environments and feature flags and whatever it is that we theoretically own. And then once those are done, we can look at maybe trying to help out beyond our group.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll propose a list in the planning issue, and then I'll tag all of like engineering. Say like, all right, you can schedule it however you want. See how it fits in with the rest. That is up to you. I've taken on a few myself, battling with some of them, figuring out what I need to do for some of them, or how I can figure out where the button is located or summon it up in the UI. Actually, I do gotta say the GTK has been improved miles and miles since, like, I know, a year ago. It used to be always a time sink, even though I have some problems at the moment because I was battling with the GTK as well. But it has been like incredibly useful lately, because I've been trying to standardize on review apps as much as I can, kind of saving myself time, hopefully making it easy for engineers as well. But review apps have proven their own challenges, which is a continuous work in progress as well. So now I at least have two options there, so that's good. Anyway, thanks for the feedback here. That's really nice. I'll get on this. Then let me see. We got no more time, I think, or do we got time? No, we got no more time. Then I'm gonna skip on the next and gonna push that towards the next meeting. So thank you all for joining. Sorry for the late start. And if you have any points to bring up for any next meeting, please put them on the agenda. I'll make sure they're prioritized above my points, because I have always points to bring on. So no problem. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah.